So for this video, what we're going to be doing for our CHEM101 class is for Chapter 1, we're going to be doing some practice. This is conversion. So what they're asking us to do here is to convert, for example, 0.755 meters, lowercase m, to millimeters. So my first job here is to find out what millimeters means, right? If I look at the chart, millimeters means times 10 to the negative 3, right? So that's what 1 millimeter is. So how I would convert that is, I would say you start with your given and put it over 1, remember? So 0.755, and I'm going to put him over 1. I may not have given myself a lot of room there for that first problem, huh? So 0.755 meters over 1. And what conversion do I know here now? I know that what I can write on the side is that 1 millimeter, remember lowercase m for milli, is equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 3 meters, right? That's what that says. 1 times 10 to the negative 3 meters. I have this conversion in my pocket. Oh, let me scooch over. Okay. So, since I have this conversion, I can make a fraction, a ratio, with either this on top or this on top, since they're equal, right? When you have things that are equal and you're dividing by them, you're dividing 5 by 5, right? Let's say, 5 is equal to 5. You're dividing by 5 by 5. What's that really doing? You're multiplying by 1. So I'm going to arrange this so that it cancels out the meters but gives me my desired unit on the top. So you hear people say that. You want the desired unit on the top. So I'm desiring to have millimeters on the top, so I need meters on the bottom. Does that work out over here? Yeah, because if I put meters on the bottom, what are those units going to do? They're going to cancel out. So express my meters down here, 1 times 10 to the negative 3 meters on the bottom. And that's the same thing as 1 millimeter. So I'll say it before and I'll say it again 100 times. Multiply everything on the top, divide by everything on the bottom. So in my calculator, I'm going to type out, oh, maybe you can see my calculator. Oh, you can. Neat. All right. So multiply everything on the top and divide by the bottom. So I'm going to have 0.755, right? And actually, I'm a big fan of parentheses. Put your parentheses on the top. 0.755 on the top, right? And the only thing I'm dividing by on the bottom really is 1 times 10 to the negative 3. So you're going to have to divide, put parentheses. You're going to have to learn your calculator's buttons. So I'm dividing by 1, and then on my calculator, it has a times 10 to the n button. And it shows up like this, and my cursor is now a exponent. So it's times 10 to the, and then the negative, not minus sign, but negative 3. And you see how my cursor is still at the top? I'm going to hit an arrow to the right, bring that cursor down, and my parentheses. Hit enter, I get 755. And the units here are little m, millimeter. Let's practice again, shall we? So 0.206 grams to micrograms. So again, I need to look at the chart and see what micro means. It means the little u, right? Remember the mu? And it means times 10 to the negative 6. So start with your given, 0.206 grams. And since I know that 1 microgram equals 1 times 10 to the negative 6 grams, I can either put this in the numerator or this in the numerator or whichever in the denominator in order to solve for my answer. So I need the units to be micrograms in the final answer, so I need micrograms on top. So I'm going to choose to put micrograms on top. 1 microgram is equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 6 grams. Grams are gonna cancel out, and my only unit left is microgram. Fantastic. So let's type that bad boy in. So I'm trying not to get a glare on this. Oh, I could just hold it flat. Okay, so 0.206. You can remember, put it in parentheses. You can't do too many parentheses in calculators. Divided by parenthesis, right? 1 times 10 to the, and in my calculator it's here. If you do have issues finding it in your calculator, please just let me know. I will absolutely help. I'd love to help. Make sure that you're comfortable using your calculator. On an exam is not the time to find out how to do it. I'm typing the negative sign and a 6, moving my parenthesis back down, hitting the end parenthesis, enter. So that is 206.00, right? That's a lot. So you could write 206.000 micrograms. But let's do some practice. Let's actually turn that into an exponent, right? So that would move the decimal over 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. So it's really 2.06 times 10 to the 5 micrograms. For an exam right now, I would accept either answer. They both look good to me. Let's move on to something slightly more tricky but definitely doable. Here, we're not just going to do one jump from milliseconds to nanoseconds. You can't. You're going to have to jump from milliseconds to meters, milliseconds to seconds. Then you're going to have to jump to nanoseconds. So you're going to have to do 2 calculations. Definitely doable. We just have to know what these numbers mean. So nano is 1 times, nano is 10 to the power of negative 9. And milli is times 10 to the negative 3. So we now know those. We can make those ratios. We can make those conversions. So we'll start with 245 milliseconds, and we'll put that over 1. And I know that, and remember, I do this, that's just my habit. You could put parentheses, or you could put a big multiplication sign like they do in the book. Represent it however you'd like to. It's the same thing. So I need to convert milliseconds to seconds first. So this is what the book calls converting it to your base unit. So I'm going to take milliseconds to seconds, the base unit. And it's called the base unit because it doesn't have an exponent, right? And then I'm going to convert it to nanoseconds. So milliseconds, I know that 1 millisecond is the same thing as 10 to the negative 3 seconds. So I need milliseconds on my bottom and seconds on my top. So I know that 1 millisecond is equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 3 seconds. So now I'm in units of seconds because my milliseconds will cancel out. Neat. One more step here. We got to go from seconds to nanoseconds. So I know, looking at the table, looking at the chart, that nano is this 1 nanosecond is the same thing as 1 times 10 to the negative 9 seconds. So I need seconds on the bottom and I need nanoseconds on the top. My desired unit on the top. 1 nanosecond is equal to 1 times 10 to the negative 9 seconds. So then seconds cancel out, and my final unit is nanoseconds, and that's what I was going for, right? Last step, we got to type these into our calculators. So multiply everything on the top and divide by everything on the bottom. So you can do this a few ways. You can multiply everything on the top, write it on the side here as a fraction. Multiply everything on the bottom, put it over here, and then divide it out. I like to do it all in one big swoop here. So, parenthesis, 245, end parenthesis, times, parenthesis, 1, and then times 10 to the -3. Bring my parenthesis down. Okay. So that, I'm going to end the parentheses. So you notice how I do parentheses around each of the term? And then you notice right here? So that's my numerator. I'm going to hit enter. Oh, why is it in fractions? That was not the plan, was it? Okay, I may have to do this on my computer, because that's just not going to work for us, is it? Give me a second. Okay, so I have done a little search on the internet, and I learned how to turn this fraction into a decimal. So if you recall, you have been here the whole time. We took 245 and we multiplied by 1 times 10 to the -3, right? And that is 2.45 times 10 to the -1, which is also 0.245. I'm going to take that, I'm going to divide it by, parenthesis, 1 times 10 to the -9, so a negative sign, 9, lower that, I get 2.45 times 10 to the 8. And my units here are nanoseconds. Ooh, I'm having a rough time right here, aren't I? So 2.45 nanoseconds. Alright, so I hope this video helped, and I plan on making more. Have a good day.